Hey there, this is Megablade J, bringing you another retro review. As stated in previous reviews, I grew up on the Nintendo side of the console wars, and as such, missed out on the Sega side of gaming. Recently, I've been trying to rectify this by trying out what my once mortal enemies were playing back in the day, and I'm happy to say that I'm falling in love with the variety of games Sega had to offer. One such game was Arena Maze of Death for the Sega Game Gear. This game was made by Eden Entertainment Software back in 1996. The only other games this company made were this and RoboCop 3 for the Master System and Game Gear. It's a shame too, as these guys definitely had talent. Had the Game Gear not been discontinued, they could have easily been a top tier developer for the system. So, in the story of this game, in the near future, an evil TV corporation has made a deal with the government to use its broadcasts to brainwash the populace. You play as Guy Freelander, a one-man army and member of a group of freedom fighters whose goal it is to infiltrate the broadcast building and play a video exposing the government's dirty deal. This story is really unique, but it never gets fully explained in the game. In between levels, you get a single screen giving you updates on your progress towards your goal, but that's about it. I had to look online to understand why I was shooting random guards, which is a shame, as this is a really unique story and I wish they would have done more with it. Arena Maze of Death is an isometric shooter with a camera angle similar to that of Landstalker for the Genesis. Your goal in each stage is to explore around, shooting or avoiding enemies until you find a key card that can open the door to the new area. You repeat this until you reach the end of the stage and move on to the next level. Each area encourages you to explore and backtrack, as sometimes hidden items and power-ups appear if certain circumstances are met, like killing off a certain number of foes or reaching a certain area. This emphasis on rewarding you for exploring every nook and cranny starts off as one of the game's strongest points, but in long play sessions can become one of its biggest flaws. Shooting things and finding keys is the only thing you do in this game. There's only one boss and no mini games or real puzzles besides finding the key cards and a few switches to push here and there to shake things up, and as a result, the game can become repetitive in long play sessions. Another odd thing about the levels is the order in which you play them. There are 4 to 5 different types of stages, ranging from warehouses, caves, and zombie-filled swamps. Most games would have, say, one cave level filled with 4 to 5 smaller cave stages inside of it, but in Arena, you will be sent to them in a random order. For example, you start off in a warehouse area, then progress to a swamp, then back to a warehouse, then you're in a cave, then back to a swamp, then a warehouse again, etc., etc. I suppose this was done for the sake of variety, and in that sense it works, but it's still a little odd at first. You're given a number of weapons to dispatch your foes, including lasers, grenades, a close-range knife, flamethrowers, and many more. You will need all these weapons, as your enemies are varied and include weak generic grunts to grenade-launching robots that can take you out in a few hits. You'll need to conserve your ammo, as later in the game, most enemies are able to respawn and often come at you in large numbers. This means you need to think ahead and decide if you want to fight or just run around them. The chiptune music is actually very well done. It's full of energy and gets you pumped for blasting some baddies. Unfortunately, the amount of levels, there's only 5 to 6 tracks in game, and soon becomes very repetitive. The length is good for this type of game, and it took me around 5 to 6 hours to beat, not counting all the times I died. This game has no save system, and instead uses passwords that are attained every few levels. This adds to the challenge, as if you lose all your lives before reaching the password screen, you have to start the game from the beginning. All in all, Arena Maze of Death for the Game Gear is not a bad game. It can get a little repetitive with long play sessions, so it's best to play in short bursts. Fortunately, the kick-in chiptune music, fun gameplay, and emphasis on exploring outweigh the game's negatives. I'd love for Sega to revisit this IP and expand the unique story for the current generation of consoles. It's not genre-defining, but if you're looking for a challenging game for the Game Gear, give this forgotten gem a try. Thanks for listening, guys. If you liked my review, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.